So now that we understand a little bit about cycle counting, let's talk about physical control. So the ultimate purpose of both the cycle counting and the periodic inventory are to verify the financial value of the inventory and have accurate representation of that. Cycle counting, you use experienced people, it's timely, corrected errors, few mistakes, minimum downtime. Periodic inventory is probably a little more problematic because you're going to use lots of inexperienced people who lack motivation. There's usually no correction of causes of errors. There's lots of mistakes. You got to shut down the plant for a couple of days, and really you've got a whole new set of inaccurate records with a physical inventory. But as I said, you may be required to do a physical inventory, depending on what your audit and accounting finance people see. So you always want to be prepared for that. Lots of prerequisites for good physical control: secured stockroom, management education, a high climate of expectations for accurate, strong supervisions. The best warehouse guys I've seen are guys who go out there and kind of kick ass as far as inventory accuracy concerned. As a planner, this always used to drive me crazy. They wouldn't let me in the stockroom, but keep people out. Question is, would you want your bank to operate like your stockroom? I would say probably you would want your bank to operate like a well-run stockroom. Lots of support tools. It's not cheap to have inventory. You should have a cycle count process. You should have uniform quantities, calculators, scales, terminals, adequate space. I remember working with several organizations where every morning they didn't have enough space, so they had to get their forklifts and drive the pallets out in the parking lot, leave them all day, and then drive the pallets back in at the end of the day. Not a good way to maintain accurate inventory system. Once you determine that you're going to do a physical inventory, you have to identify the physical inventory team. You've got to have a physical inventory manager, hopefully somebody that's done it before, understands what's going on. Your materials manager, warehouse manager, you got to have your buyers, the shop guys out on the floor, because they're going to be counting parts, cost accounting, VP of operations, the CFO, and then finally your external auditor. So there's lots of people involved in that process. Probably, at least from my point of view, data entry and IT support, very important, because that's going to be the key punch. You got to be concerned with hash total, batch numbers, Wi-Fi spots, the network, all of that activity. Don't pay any attention to this guy. He just makes the thing happen. Annual physical means you count inventory anywhere it is. You do pre-counts. You've got to do good housekeeping. Parts that are on the dock, in MRB, stores, stage, at the vendors, supplier consignment, customer consignment, finished goods, in transit if you've got distribution centers. I've even seen install base included in physical inventories and fixed assets. So it could be a very involved process over an extended period of time. You don't just do physical inventory in a week. It usually takes at least a month or two to plan and organize for the physical inventory. As far as QAD concerned, the first step is to delete and archive your old tags. Then you can either freeze the balances, run your report, print the tags, or you can print the tags, freeze the balances, and run your reports. I'd recommend the left, that you freeze the balances and then you create your tags. You then go out and do the manual count of parts. You enter those into the tag count menus. You account for uncounted tags. If everything is fine, then you run your variances reports. If everything is not fine, you got to go back and recount things, enter into the tag recount menu. And then finally, everything is complete. You run your uncounted tag report and update. You run your valuation, and then finally you update your inventory balances, and physical inventory is complete. It's usually at least a 2-day process. if not 3 normally. This is compliments of Robert Cohen out at Dynacast, and so you need to probably have a 2-part form that you can use as your tag count. Tag control critical. Once tags have been created, care should be taken to keep track of each printed tag. Keep them in stacks of 10 or 100. Verify that all the tag numbers are there. Verify duplicates, missing tags. The zone supervisors, the people out on the floor and in the warehouse, need to keep track of their tags that there have been issued, and they are usually going to keep their own separate log of what there is, because the #1 rule in physical inventory: do not lose a tag. Then you go out and count your inventory. 21 steps. I want to thank this gentleman, Dan Webster, at Deputy. These are 21 of the steps that are a good idea to do for physical inventory. Plan, select your counters, schedule, make sure your locations are current, get the tags out there, stop movement, and then finally do the count, confirm the tags, check items, and analyze your reports. You count inventory, so now you got the counters going out in the physical warehouse. Don't send people out cold turkey. Make sure they understand what is going on. I have always used a physical inventory activity report. Just maintain a history of everything that occurred, when you started, when you printed tags, so that next time, if you've got any issues, you'll understand what you did last time. Always document it. Tag control. I always like to keep track of the tag count progression so that I know what time tags are out. You can see here that there was a rush to get things done. That's always a good tool to maintain. The area supervisors are responsible for their tags. As I said, the #1 rule of physical inventory: don't lose tags. If you do, I've seen physical inventories cut off, auditors say stop, and you redo it. Well, that costs a lot of money. I've seen people fired for losing tags. Missing tag report. You can use various missing tag report, the counted tag report, the uncounted tag report, and update. Normally, you're going to have some sort of spreadsheet that keeps track of that, so you can sort in descending variance value, so that you keep track of all 5,000 to 6,000 tags that have been created for the physical inventory.